This is big breaking news. A dystopian new law just passed in the US, and it's happening, guys. The control grid and the tracking and tracing of every single thing in our society, the beast system, is happening. It is going into law right now, and we have top representatives in the US warning that this bill is going to change everything, and it is going to devastate America's freedom. Right? We are not going to be able to drive our cars and move about freely. Everything is going to be tracked and traced, and this is the end of freedom of movement in America and the implementation of the beast system and the social credit score system. Right? That's exactly what this law just passed, and this congressman is actually trying to get resolutions in there to change the law and to get certain parts out of there. He's trying to get amendments to the law so they can change it and get these dystopian parts out. But I want you to listen to exactly what he's saying, Rep. Massey, all right? And he's always talking about stuff like this, Thomas Massey, in the U.S. Congress, all right? He's a top U.S. congressman, and I just want you to listen to what he said, because this is devastating, and this is our future, and the law's already passed, and nobody was paying attention. Everyone's been distracted by what's going on, and there's important stuff going on, but in the background, they are doing work. They are passing these laws to bring down our society, right? And this is going to be part of cutting you out of society. If you don't follow the rules, you are going to be cut out of society, and you are not going to be allowed to buy, sell, or even drive your car, have freedom of transportation, anything. All these things are coming, and I want you to listen to what Rep. Massey said.
24-220 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act requires all newly manufactured vehicles to be equipped with technology to monitor your performance while driving and to prevent vehicle operation if the car so determines that you are not doing a very good job of driving. And I'm a little bit worried about this. My own car has some technology in it that tells me I need to get some coffee or something every now and then. And I mean, I think it's a nice feature to have, but allowing the car to disable itself, I think, is troublesome.
All right, we're going to get to the rest of what he said, but he's talking about this bill that passed that is mandatory for all vehicles. All vehicles, this is mandatory, starting in 2026. And guys, it's already 2024. 2024 is a month and a half away. All right, so this is 2 years away at most. This is going to be mandatory for all vehicles in the US to have this AI monitoring system inside your vehicle and a kill switch as well, and it determines whether you are capable of driving or not. That's what it determines. Let's keep going. And he is saying that this is going to be used to shut people out of the system. All right, just keep listening here.
And this, we don't have a lot of time. This is supposed to be implemented by 2026. And I don't know about you all, but I would like to know, when I put my family in the car and I'm taking a trip somewhere, that the car is not going to disqualify me. I'll trust a court, or and then states, 31 states already have like a breathalyzer technology that's already incorporated into their laws. Like if you are a known offender, a DUI offender, they can force these to be installed in your car to make sure that you're qualified to drive, at least from a blood alcohol content qualified to drive. Not everybody is, but we don't need this federally. We don't need it automated. I think there's privacy concerns. In order for this technology to work, you actually need to know where the car is to know if the driver's doing a good job on that particular road. And so this kill switch amendment would just defund implementation of section 24-220 so that you can know your car's not going to shut you down in the middle of the road. And I thank you, urge consideration of these amendments by our committee, and I yield back.
All right, did you hear that? Kill switch amendment. This is mandatory for all cars, and he is trying to make an amendment to get rid of this in the bill, but he cannot get it through. All right, both sides of the aisle are against this. I believe he said there were even 70 Republicans, he's a Republican, that were voting against this as well, and they just cannot get this amendment through. And you heard it from him as well. Your car will be tracked and traced. Every single place you go will have to be tracked and monitored, potentially by the federal government itself. All right, this is very dystopian and very dangerous technology for the government to have. And not to mention, if rogue people, deep state actors, or foreign governments are able to access these cars as well remotely and take them over and make them crash, right? There's a lot of these suspicious car crashes that have happened where a lot of people have speculated that potentially these cars were remotely hacked and taken over, right? So this stuff can happen, especially if it's mandated to have these switches. And even our own government saying, we don't want this. We don't want this change. They want this power. And you can even see here on this tweet that he responded to, because senators are saying that this isn't true. They're not going to be able to track your location, but you can just reasonably deduct that they have to track your location. How are they supposed to know if you are driving well enough or not? They have to have some kind of AI system monitoring your vehicle at all times where they can shut it off. This is very dangerous, and this could get into even political territories where people can use it against whatever way it swings. It's used against whatever population that they want to target at that moment. All right, so very dangerous stuff. And he's even saying, he responded to this senator saying, one, it will not act randomly. He said it will trigger falsely more often than not, dangerously stranding people in cars. That's true as well. All right, these systems are not perfect. Even these autonomous cars have crashed themselves a lot. All right, there was this one doing a test pilot in San Fran, and they just had to take it off. They ended their pilot because it kept crashing into buses and hitting bikes and stuff all the time. All right, so this stuff's very dangerous, and they want to take away our freedom to drive. All right, and he says, number two, this tech will need to track where the car is so it can know the speed limit, appropriate driving behavior for the location, and where the car is disabled. That is very true. How are they going to know the speed if they don't know the location? And how are they going to disable the car if they don't know where it is, all right, to potentially impound it? And it might even alert authorities for you as well, where it just calls the police. And as soon as they suspect you, whatever, you're intoxicated or anything, or you're inebriated or drowsy, whatever they suspect, or you're just not following the rules, your social credit score isn't high enough to drive, or even in the future, this is going to be linked to things like carbon credits. They want to make resources very scarce, and in return, they are going to introduce things like these carbon credit systems where resources are allotted, and even our driving mileage is going to be allotted. All right, all these different states are proposing mileage taxes, all right, to tax you by the mile, how much you drive. All right, we already have gas tax, we already have all these other taxes, and the roads are still junk everywhere. I've driven all over America, and some states are good, but there's a lot of terrible interstate highways all over the country, and they aren't fixing them. All this money that we spend is not put into this. It's going to be spent into tracking and tracing and implementing this dystopia. So please hit it up for me down there to help get this video out to more people. This law just passed, all right, and they're trying to change it, but the elite power structure does not want this change. They passed this law for a reason, and it is going to be implemented very soon. And cars, the reason why this is so urgent too is because cars that they're going to start selling very soon in the next year or so, they are going to have these tracking systems already built into them, and a lot of cars already do potentially, and they're going to be activated as well. They're going to be able to update your car system, all right? A lot of them are connected to the internet, everything now, and they can just activate the systems that are already built into it, all right? So, and especially electric vehicles are going to be clamped down because of all the grid problems that we're having. All right, and gas is vulnerable as well. The gas pumps need electricity to pump the gasoline from the tanks underground. All right, so all these things are a major issue, and it's about clamping down and implementing this beast system and restricting people. This is how it is in China and a lot of countries like this, but especially there, where you can't even get on public transport if your social credit score is not appropriate, whatever the government deems. And it's based on a lot of different things. It's based on your speech, it's based on your job, it's based on your friends, your family, all this stuff. And that's what's coming to the US, all right? And it's going to be traced to our travel as well. These are travel restrictions essentially being implemented in the US on every single car, because they can just shut your car off at any time. He even said it's a, quote, kill switch. All right, so get yourself prepared, get stocked up on gas, get a generator, get ready for a potential grid collapse scenario, because in the aftermath of that, they can bring in a lot more of the system. Like I said, the carbon credit rationing and the cryptocurrency rationing of resources and money. All right, so get prepared. Please hit it up for me down there to help get this video out. I really appreciate that. I hope you have big blessings for your family and in your life, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.